Today, I'm going to teach you how to throw a curveball. A curveball is a pitch used in the major leagues, and we see it anywhere from the young ages, 10 and on up. And what it really is a baseball that a pitcher throws that instead of being direct on plane like a fastball, it actually has a different spin which reduces the spin rate and actually slows up the ball. On average, a curveball is 10 to 15 miles per hour slower getting from the pitcher's hand to the plate than their average fastball. The advantage goes to the pitcher because at that point we throw batters timing off, getting their barrel to get out in front and either swing over the curveball or ending up hitting weak contact. Okay, now that we got some basic understanding of the curveball, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have my son, freshman pitcher on the JV squad here at our local high school, kind of walk you through the different variations of the curveball, starting with the 12-6, right? 12 to 6 grip. He's going to teach us a couple variations on a knuckle curve, and he's going to tell you the reason why we kind of lay our fingers in the positions we lay them in, and more importantly, how we use pressure points to create the illusion of the spin of a fastball, whether it's a 2-seam fastball or a 4-seam. It's really about the tumble effect that's going to deceive the batter and give us the end result we want as a pitcher.
So one type of curveball is the 12-6. Now with the 12-6, you have your middle finger on the inside of this seam, almost like you're throwing a 2-seam. And you'll have your thumb around this part of the seam right here. So then when you come up top here, you can snap through it. Your your pointer finger is just along for the ride. You really need that pointer finger. But you never want to be on the side of a curveball or else it's just going to spin. When you throw this 12-6, you want to be on top and you're going to almost handshake it when you throw it. You do not want to do this handshake back here or else it's just going to hang there and the batter's going to take it 450. With the curveball, you always have to snap it right in front of you so you can get that nasty tumble. The reason why we call the 12-6 curveball 12-6 is because it's almost like a clock. It starts at 12 and it'll drop down to 6. From a batter's perspective, it comes here and then it just tumbles down to that 6 o'clock. The spin will come forward like this and a fastball spin comes back like this. Another kind of curveball is the knuckle curve. It is almost like your 12-6 grip, but instead you're just going to be putting your knuckle from the pointer finger on the ball. You're going to be coming up here again, and you're going to be handshaking it. And this curveball goes from 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock. From a batter's perspective, all they're going to see is the ball coming at them, and they're going to turn in, and the ball is just going to break into the zone for a strike. If you start the ball in the middle of the zone, it's going to start middle, and it's going to break out, and the batter is going to almost reach for the ball, and they're going to miss it. So there are also different kinds of knuckle curves. Another way you could throw the knuckle curve is almost have it in your 12-6, but instead of you putting your knuckle, you're going to put your nail on the inside part of the seam. This gives the ball a different type of tumble that you want, and it's going to move like a curveball. It's going to be slower, but it's still going to have the nasty break as a knuckle curve. So with this knuckle curve, you hold it in a 4-seam because you have 1, 2, 3, 4 seams. You have your traditional 4-seam here, and you move your nail onto the 3rd seam. The reason why people do this is because with the 4-seam, when you release it, you'll have that nice backspin that gives it, that makes it nice and flat. With this knuckle curve, it does almost the same effect, but it's slower and it gives a little bit of a tumble. You'll get the same spin, but with this finger, once it comes off, it'll start to loop. Usually 2-seam pitchers have their ball here, but with the knuckle curve on this pitch, you want to move it down to the horseshoe, and you're just going to put your your nail onto this seam. The reason why you do this is because when you snap, it's going to give it that 2-seam spin, and that 2-seam spin will become a drop. So depending on how you throw it, it will go from 11 to 5 or 1 to 7. As a batter, you see the two seam spin and you're expecting the ball to go downward and come in a little. But with this curveball, it's going to start in and it's going to have the same movement outward. The reason why you want to put more pressure is because when you release the ball, it's going to come off this nail so you can get that tumble. And it will release off this part of your finger. So this is the grip. And when you throw it, it's going to come off this nail first. And then it will come off this finger, giving it that two seam spin, which has the effect with the tumble. Now we're going to go to the park so I can show you how I throw my curveball.